The US is a country of multiple realities. The economy is booming, everything is expensive. Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. Donald Trump is the leader of the GOP. Taylor Swift is a pop icon. Taylor Swift is a deep state asset. And then there's immigration.
The U.S. Senate is nearing a vote on a bipartisan immigration and border deal, but its prospects in the House remain uncertain.
In one reality, Democrats and Republicans have come together on legislation to secure the southern border at a time when bipartisanship in Washington is all but unheard of. But in another reality, none of that matters because the bill will never become law. So how did we get to this point, and why won't anything come of it? The answer to the first question starts with Ukraine. Late last summer, U.S. funding for Ukraine's defense against Russia's invasion, talk about a border crisis, was drying up. And for the first time since the war began, it was looking like Republicans were not going to approve more money until their key national security issue was addressed.
Before we even talk about Ukraine, I'm going to tell the president what I'm telling all of you, and we've told the American people, border, border, border. We have to secure our own border before we talk about doing anything else.
By the end of September, Congress failed to approve more Ukraine aid on time, and Democrats freaked out. Though Congress managed to pass more funding alongside Israeli aid, the spigot was quickly running dry. And then President Biden did something truly unexpected. He said, okay. Biden agreed to tie Ukraine aid to border security, and for the rest of 2023, White House representatives met near daily with a trio of senators: GOP Senator James Lankford, Democratic Senator Chris Murphy, and Independent Senator Kyrsten Sinema to hash out a deal. And on February 4th, Senate Democrats released a $118.3 billion emergency national security bill that would provide additional aid to Ukraine and Israel, including some humanitarian aid for Palestinians, and proposed three main changes to U.S. border security. Make it harder for people to claim asylum, expand the capacity of detention facilities, and limit the number of people who can cross the border each day. Keep in mind, it wasn't just President Biden's support for Ukraine that pushed him to make this deal. The southern border crisis has increasingly become a political albatross for Biden, who enjoys a whopping 38% approval rating on immigration. That same Harvard poll found that nearly 6 in 10 Americans prefer Trump's immigration policies to Biden's. And that, my friends, is the answer to the second question I posed: why this bipartisan bill will never become law.
This horrible open borders betrayal of America, it's not going to happen. I'd rather have no bill than a bad bill.
Trump, the GOP's presidential nominee in all but name, has zero political incentive to give Biden an election year win on immigration, and quickly called the version of the bill released by the Senate a, quote, death wish. Whether or not a border deal is good for the country is, in that regard, frankly irrelevant. And since Trump controls the GOP, the moment he puts the kibosh on the deal, any bipartisan bill is dead on arrival. We don't want to do anything to undermine Trump, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell reportedly admitted in a closed-door meeting late last month. We're in a quandary. So too is the country. Illegal border crossings reached a record high this winter. Sanctuary cities like New York and Chicago are buckling under the weight of bust-in migrants, and Texas Governor Greg Abbott is in a Supreme Court standoff with the Biden administration over concertina wire. Oh, and House Republicans failed to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas over his handling of the situation. In the meantime, desperate migrants will keep braving deserts, rivers, and barbed wire to get into the country. And Ukraine may miss out on billions of dollars in military aid.